and that way I don't forget. Thank you guys for joining on our Cafe 42. What I had on my list today was kind of just to do a little run through of the information I had sent out on the 4-H listserv yesterday, and that would be with the Spanish enrollment packet and then the little tip sheet that I'd done with that. Kind of show you where those items are posted. And then, I don't know, whatever questions you guys have, we can go through those. Did you have something that you had questions on, Jamie? Okay, well, I'll go ahead and run through what we've got cooking. I'll do a little share screen here, and then if you've got questions, just go ahead and type those in the chat box. But so one of the things that I've been working on, and with the help of Maureen Toomey and Georgia Goodwin in Owyhee County, is getting some uniformity as far as what information we're capturing for our Spanish enrollments, and having a packet that that's translated, that captures all of the components. So on the home screen in 4-H Online, this combo packet is posted, and so it's an easy access for you guys. I've also posted it on the staff help sheet page, and I'll show you where that is. But basically, the tip sheet kind of walks through the enrollment procedures. And so the packet is very similar to what, you know, the information we capture as we're working through 4-H Online. How this packet works, the leading pages are translated in Spanish, and then we included the equivalent forms in English, so they're all together. And so we start off with the enrollment forms, and that information. The second part here is the health form. Then we go into the consent assent for common measures, and then the general program waiver. And one thing to remember on the program waiver, on page 2, and I will get down to the English section here. On page 2 of the general waiver, this has got the verbiage for our photo release and then also the privacy release. So when you're entering in those components into 4-H Online and it gets to those consent pieces, that's where that verbiage is. And then it ends up, the last part is the code of conduct. So with these being new documents, as you're going through the use, and especially with this being kind of an initial translation on these, if there's errors or if there's verbiage that needs to be changed on this, please let me know. We can get that updated, but I think this will be very helpful. We've gone one step further and also posted this on the main login page. So when you go to 4honline.com, you're going to see a little bit of a change. We've shifted all of the new family information, and that hasn't changed, but the helps pieces are in this column as far as questions or problems. This online help page will take folks to the family volunteer support page, which is still kind of linked with the staff help sheets page and the page for Cafe 42. And then also a hot link where, you know, this will launch a window for submitting a ticket if folks have issued. But basically, in the Spanish language column, this first URL will take them directly to the packet, and it opens up in a new window. And then the second link is to help them find a county. Given that we're going to be completing this information via a paper form, we do not have a Spanish version of 4-H Online at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if, as development happens with 4-H Online, that maybe they go that route. But at this point in time, we have this, and so folks will have to make contact with the county extension offices. They will need to go through that. One thing that you will need to kind of be cognizant of, or when you're reviewing those materials, it's really important that we get those signatures. They do need to consent, and depending on your office and your staffing, if you don't have somebody that knows Spanish, it may be helpful to have a translator. I know that some folks really struggle with the completion of this documentation, but unfortunately, a lot of the information we're capturing on this form, when you go to enter that enrollment in 4-H Online, those are required fields, so it's very critical. But as far as the enrollment procedure, so they're going to have the packet, they're going to need to fill that out. We are going to have youth and adult signatures. Once you've got that completed form, then you log in to 4-H Online as the manager, work through that packet, and then once all the information is entered, we're wanting the packets to be scanned. And when you're in a profile, oh, well, that's kind of silly. Let me get back in. When you are working in a profile, you're going to notice a new section on the additional information part. So you're gonna provide that document. We're gonna have that returned document. So you will have the document. The date received is the date that the packet is returned, and you indicate whether consent is provided or not. And when you get to this section down here, you're going to see Spanish enrollment. So once you work through that whole enrollment, scan the packet and save it as a PDF. And then what will happen is, once you've got your packet, you just click the select button, you select the packet, and it will upload that whole entire document in its entirety, even with English pages. So, or if I think I've got everything for the most part where it's, a single scan, just scan the Spanish pages if you want. But that packet will basically be embedded in this profile. And then if you need to locate that information, or if you need to access that packet at any point in time, then you just come to this section here in the individual's profile. And what that does is this acts like a locked filing cabinet. The second part to that component is once you are done with the packet, then we are asking that you shred that paper copy. This information that we're capturing in here is sensitive, so this will kind of kill the proverbial two birds with one stone as far as we're capturing the information. They are in 4-H Online. When it comes time for doing your events and whatnot, we're able to gather that information. They'll pull up on reports, and then for different events, if you are doing online enrollment or online registration for a different event, I think that's going to probably be expanding for a lot of districts this year. Then you're going to have these folks pulling into your system. So I'm pretty excited about that. It did take a fair amount of work to get that to put into process and get it all wordsmithed and stuff. But where else this packet is posted at, if you go to the staff help sheets page, all of you should have this page hyperlinked. Now, that being said, over the course of this year, I will be rebuilding this in Sitecore, so the URL, I'm going to try to keep it the same, at least the staff help sheet page of what it's called, but there will be some changes. But where I've posted the enrollment packet and the tip sheet within this site is right here as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this helps with facilitating enrollment and providing that access to the program for underserved audiences. But Are there any questions on that? I kind of scooted through that fairly quickly.
We're good.
Good? All right. Did you have any questions on the packet, Rosie, or is that going to be helpful for you guys? Because I know you have a lot.
I think it will. Most of the kids speak English, and we just have a few parents that are not fluent, in the Spanish with the Spanish packet. So we're way excited about that. So thank you.
Good. Well, and like I said, these documents, this is kind of a fresh translation for some of these components. So I feel for the folks that have evaluated it, I'm personally not fluent in Spanish, but if there's a verbiage that needs to be adjusted, or if we need to make changes to this, please let me know. But I think this is a step in the right direction anyways. And if there's something I need to change, we can do that and get that taken care of pretty quickly. So that was a biggie on my list. Another thing, I've been kind of still doing some cleanup on group enrollments. It's really important, especially like with your shooting sports or any of your camps, day camps, special interest programs that you guys are doing group enrollments. I'm probably going to be doing with Jim Lindstrom when I go to campus at the beginning of next year. I'm going to be doing a session specifically on how to work through that, and it's going to be a recorded session, so that way it can be shared with educators and other 4-H professionals. But it's really important that I'm just going to log in here, get into a group enrollment, because I've noticed, especially with some of this work I've been doing, we're trying to do some tracking on education hours for shooting sports programs as an example. When you are doing your initial information piece on this, it's really critical that we're being descriptive as far as what, we have a program title, but we do need a description as far as what kind of content is being in there. I can kind of glean it out what's in a project, but it's a pretty big report when you pull the group enrollment report for the whole entire state. It's a lot of information you have to wade through to discern if it is a shooting sports day camp that's being done, or if it's, what kind of content is in the camp itself. And also the number of contact hours. I was kind of surprised in some of the group enrollment reports that I was going through that it was kind of hit and miss on as far as what information was being captured on that. And so in that training piece, I will be sure to cover that pretty thoroughly, but don't be afraid to add a lot of information in here because I've found that as Shay is making contact with other funders, as different things are moving forward with those regional positions in particular, that the more information we can provide and we have in the system, the better off we'll be. But be on the lookout for that group enrollment training, because it's going to walk through the paperwork. Some of the comments Jim and I have received is that the group enrollment form is hard and the process is hard. This is by far and away easier than Cal's plan by a long shot. It's 3 screens. The big piece is making sure that the paperwork or the form that we have, which is also on the staff help sheet page, making sure that that form is filled out before you do your program or while you're doing that. And if you need to have an assistant do that head count and capture the information in this form, then that's okay. It's a lot easier to have this captured than trying to figure it out afterwards. And this needs to be filled in completely. Some of the group enrollment forms I've gotten for the Eat Smart program. Yes, it had this part filled in, it had gender distributions, but the grades was kind of killer. And that's kind of critical, especially with our youth numbers. If it's new, the new numbers are what's captured here. If your program is just strictly, yes, we did a program and they're 4-H youth, and that's okay because they're considered a duplicate and you don't really have to fill these components out. But another critical piece is your volunteers. And so I know a lot of these programs have volunteers engaged in the delivery. So be it a youth volunteer or an adult volunteer. So taking that time, filling out the paperwork ahead of time, and when the program is done, put it in the system. It really will help when we get to the end of the year in having a clean data set. So those were a couple pieces I wanted to touch on. I'm open. Were there any questions on reports or different things you guys are running into in 4-H Online?
Hey, Erica, could you pull up my county?
Sure.
Pull up Cassia County. And just checking, this is weird. The other day, Jenny and I were both trying to pull up a 1415 report. And I couldn't, it wouldn't let me go, I changed the date in the thing where you change the date to go back a year, and she did too, and we were both having troubles pulling one out. However, when I went to do a bulk email later on that night, I was able to get it to work and pull that report. But I told her I was going to be on this today and that I'd ask you.
Okay, so which report were you trying to run?
Oh, let's just pull up beef on mine. Do we have market beef, or out of those 3,000 reports, 15 reports?
Oh, okay. I don't think I got into your county yet. I started there. Beef. Okay. So do you want your market beef?
Sure, that's great. Just see if you can get in it and pull up like a 1415. I'm just wondering if there was a glitch in the system at the time and it's all worked out. Because like I said, later on that evening, I was able to pull up a 1415 family report so I could ship out a broadcast email. It was just during the day that we couldn't get it to work.
It works. I have noticed there's been some reports I've been working on for Shay too, and I don't know. I don't know if weather is a factor, but I have noticed that for whatever reason, sometimes that does not work quite like it should be. So we got it to pull. I got 1415.
Okay. Well, I'll just call her and tell her to try it again because, like I said, we could get it to work at the end of that same day. So I'll just call her and tell her to try pulling up her report again.
Yeah. If you guys run into that again, let me know and I can send that on to Celeste. But I know that we've had some really low clouds, funky things going on with our internet, and our system is kind of impacted by the weather, but I don't know if that's merely speculation. I don't know if that's making a difference or not, or if it's something going on down in Texas. But if we're running into that problem continually, then I can give the heads up to Celeste and James, and we'll see if it's something on their end. So does anybody have any other kind of wonky things going on, or questions, things that they would like me to go through?
Still having some problems once in a while with people getting on to get their certificate for minor training, minor protection training. But what's weird is the ones that wouldn't show up yesterday showed up today, and I was just able to print them off.
Okay.
Usually it sends one to us when they've finished. Well, I'm just wondering if they're not clicking on the little gray box or getting the right information at the end of the video. But this morning I was able to print off 2 of them. Just went into 4-H Online and it said completed print certificate.
Okay. So Do you have a person that might be kind of in that pending or hasn't quite completed the training yet, Rosie?
No, because I just printed them all off this morning.
Okay. So when you are working through the Protecting Minors training, let me see if I can find an active. Okay. So there's a couple things. You can search and see if you have a phone call and somebody says, well, you know, I did the training or I can't find the training. If their screen is showing up like this, they need to actually sign up for the training. And this one, now that's kind of weird. Is that an app? Is he a youth? No, I needed an adult. Okay, that's not gonna work with the kiddos. All right. So if you're talking to an adult and they go, okay, I don't see the training, they do have to sign up for the training. And this is where that browser conversation comes into play, because I think there's different views with Internet Explorer, and with 4-H Online no longer doing any of the support for Internet Explorer. It's really important to ask if folks are using Chrome or Firefox. But if they need to do the Protecting Minors training, they need to sign up for it. And then this is an adult, so sign them up. So then once they have that, then we're back into that training status piece. And a lot of times I find that folks are pretty much all the way done and they are not checking the little gray box at the end. If you run into that, let me know. We can mark them as completed, and it seems to be working now. I think James and the development team kind of worked out on the kinks on that. We will hopefully have no issues when we do roll over next year, like what we had this year, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to ask them when we go to the users conference in the spring here, but you know, it's important that folks are doing that, and if you do have questions or run into some of those, let me know. But they do need to sign up for it if they're not seeing it. So that would be a first step. They do need to complete it. They do need to do the little gray box. And if not, there's a workaround, and just let me know on who you're needing certificates from on that. But for the most part, that seems to be working well. So,
Erica, we're having the sugar beet leaders come in tonight, and we're going to show them the minor protection training video. Do I just take a list of those names of everybody coming to do that and email that to you?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, so what I'll do with them, I'll actually sign them up and mark them as completed. And in theory, I should be able to do that, do a little system override. And then if that doesn't work, you will at least see in their additional information section, I'll enter in the date for that training completed. So at least it'll pull up on the report, but I should be able to have it flagged in the system that they've done it. So, but yes, please send me that list and we can get that done.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other items?
You good? I'm good. We're good.
Okay. Jamie, Diana, I'm not sure who else is on with us, but all right. Well, our next Cafe 42 session will be in January. New Year, and that will be on the 21st. Spread the word, have folks come in. If you get phone calls from other counties, tell them to join. I mean, that's what we're here for. So it's open and everybody's welcome to participate. So if you guys don't have anything else, then we'll call it a day.
Thanks, Erica, for your time. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. I hope you guys have a great holiday, and we'll see you next year.